Hello, friends. Good evening. Hi, Zuri. Hi, Vinay. Hello, Praneeth. Hi, Tia. Hi, Himanshu. How are you?
Hi Sudesh, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Thank you. It's Friday and you're here. That's great.
Yeah,
Usually, Fridays are very less people show up because we are already in the weekend mood, isn't it?
yeah.
And let me turn on my video here. Give me a second here. If you like to come on the video, you can. If not, it's totally all right. And let me turn on my video here. Zuri, you're from Calgary, right?
Okay,
Hi, Zuri, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, Onkar, how are you? Good evening. All right, so I would like to start the session and just want to introduce myself. My name is Sudesh Anand. I'm the founder of LeadTecno IT staffing and consulting firm, and we specialize in training and IT staffing. All right, and we provide services in US and Canada. And this program is for ServiceNow Business Analyst, and this is the program, and we have been offering the first three sessions as complimentary so that you'll get to know about the importance of this career and how to transition to this career and understand the demand of this career and what are the key skills required to go in as a BA. Okay, because in ServiceNow, you can also go in as a ServiceNow administrators. You can transition as ServiceNow implementation specialist. And there are some technical roles like ServiceNow developers, ServiceNow architects, and there are many more. ServiceNow is like SAP. They have many modules. It's a very trending technology right now. Okay, and as a company, what is more important to me is my business is very organic, and a lot of my folks who join in this session are usually a referral or referred by somebody, and so business is very organic. And I'm one of those companies where we think people should go into job. So we do a lot of market analysis to understand where the jobs are, and then we would train people based on that. So most of the technologies where I train, like cloud data engineering, cloud security, cyber security, ServiceNow's data analysis in machine language and AI are usually the top careers which are in US and Canada, where you can go into a job within 0 to 4 months. That's the prediction as of current moment. So what you need to understand is before you're choosing into a career, you got to understand the average wait time. That you will only know when you understand the demand and supply. So my role is to bring in and help you understand where the demand is so that you don't end up putting your money into training and not able to go into a job. Okay, so it's highly advisable that I also would request you to do your research on ServiceNow. Okay, but there is a method to this transition. If you go into very niche careers like ServiceNow implementation specialist or architect roles or something, there the jobs are very less if you go into a very niche area. So you don't want to go too niche and you don't want to go into generic too. Okay, so we choose BA because a lot of deployments are going on, and the role of BA is always required to engage with the user community, with the stakeholders. Okay, BAs are the guys who will understand the product and they will understand the client's requirement, they'll document the requirements and they deliver the requirements to the delivery team. So I wouldn't say it's a non-technical, but I would say it does not require coding. Okay. Um, I'm the only ServiceNow product-based training company. I don't see any other company around. Most of the company they will train only on BA, which is a very convenient option, right? I can also do that, but I can tell you if you study only BA, your average wait time to get into a job is over 7 to 8 months, which is not fun. We want a CSF job within 4 months, and fortunately, my guys are going to job into 2 months, which means the demand is very high. And in the previous session, one of my students from the previous batch, Vidya, she came in and she shared her experience how she went 0 to 100 from my student to a BA job, right? She recently secured a job with a financial institution. And I wish her all the best. And she took her time to yesterday, and she was there almost to 45 to 50 minutes, and she talked about her experience. If you have not gone through the second session video, I would strongly recommend you. That will really get you an understand, but because you don't really get a chance to talk to somebody who get to do the same thing what you're about to do and get into a job. So please go through that video to understand the importance of it. And so my goal is to help you understand that BA is a very convenient role, doable role, does not require to have you any prerequisites. Okay, so my job is to help you from to go 0 to 100. So the training, the way it is planned out is phase one BA training. This is for the people who are new to IT and never been a BA. Then you must attend the BA training, understand the BA deliverables, understand the BA deployment activities, and then phase two training, ServiceNow training. But if you're already aware of the BA training, then you don't have to put in your time. I can expedite you and accelerate you into the ServiceNow program, which will save you a month. And ServiceNow training is for 2 months, where you will learn specifically how to understand the different workflows of ServiceNow, and you will understand how to configure it, understand the integration point, and you learn IT service management. IT service management knowledge is very important. So you need to have a good understanding of it, because when you have a good knowledge, you will understand different modules like HRSD, field services, customer resource management tool. There are many modules like strategic portfolio management, IT business management. So, so we provide all this training in 2 months. But you got to understand one thing. You really need skills how to clear the interview. Don't worry about the job. You will do it. If you can clear the interview, you'll be able to do the job. So we provide you a complete support in it. Okay, and we'll continue to talk more on that. And I see more people are joining in. Hello, Olu. Good evening. How are you? And if you have not spoken to me yet, I recommend you to get on a phone call with me. I can spend more time explaining how to go about it. Okay, thank you. But today I have an agenda to talk about it. I really want to talk about how, as a BA, what are the factors are affecting the project management world, and as a BA, what are the key things you will be doing? Okay. Can somebody tell me what is a BA role? Can somebody tell me? Praneeth, Vinay, Himanshu, Tia, Onkar, Olu, Zuri. Can somebody tell me what is a BA role? What do you think it is? Feel free to talk to me. This session is for you. Can somebody tell me what is a BA role? What do you think they really do?
BA role is something, he's a middleman between what is that? Owner and a product developer. Like owner expects some kind of a product, and he'll explain it to the product developers, like what exactly owner wants. So he's middle over there.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Good job, Vinay. I like your. That's Vinay, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Vinay. Good job. I like the way you explained it. Anybody else? Olu, Onkar, Himanshu, Praneeth, Zuri, what do you think?
Yeah. Sudesh, I believe a business analyst is like he acts as a bridge between the stakeholders and the technical team. He gathers all the
Okay.
requirements from the stakeholders and put it in a way that the technical team can understand and bring out the results. That's how he
Correct.
used. He,
Okay. We will continue to learn more about it. Okay. And, let me share some screen over here. And it's very important to understand the origins of business analysis and how we can go about it. Okay. Give me a second here. Let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
yeah, Sudesh.
Okay, I'm going to make it bigger here. See, what is more important is to understand before going into BA is you got to understand where are you standing into an IT project, okay, and what is your key role and key deliverables. So that's very important for your success. There are many reasons why an IT project can be originated. You would see there's a bunch of guys sitting here. 1 second over here. bunch of guys sitting here, some of them are here discussing over here. Let's give a hypothetically, this is a business. There are many reasons why they will start an IT project. There could be a decline. There could be a decline in the process. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to pause this page here. Okay, anyways, that's okay. So the reasons can an IT project can stand startup, it could be a decline in a revenue, lack of employee satisfaction, loss of customer base, rolling falling stock prices, high defect rate, high employee attrition rate. There could be many reasons why an IT project can originate. Okay, as a BA, your main role in a new project is to understand first the root cause of the problem. Your role is to understand the business project, first of all. If you don't understand the problem in the IT project, it's very difficult for you to understand the solution. Okay, these people from the business team, they always reach out to us for some kind of support where we can give them a technology solution. It could be a system which is obsolete, it's going to go into sunset. They don't want to go this have this system anymore which has got they've been using for 30 years, a lot of issues. They want to bring in a new application, so we are bringing in a new system. Okay, an IT project can range minimum for most of the project will reach 1 to 3 million, and then 3 to 10 million, and then there are bigger projects, so on. So majority of project will come around 1 to 3 to 4 to 5 million maximum within that. Okay, so what you need to understand is, as a BA, how are you approaching into a project? Okay, what are the first few days looking like? What are the various documentations you need to study to understand the business problem? Let's say this is the business. When I say business, I'm talking about the client. Okay, you belong to the IT side. We are part of the solution domain where we provide solutions. Okay, so you as a BA, first you need to understand the current process. Okay, you're going into new project. You can understand the project through a project deck. Somebody will give you a knowledge transfer of what this project is all about. You'll be attending meetings, and you'll try to understand what's going on. For you to really understand what's happening in the project, it might take close to 3 to 4 weeks, but you need to do every effort to understand a new project. And I'll continue to talk more about it because a BA's role is very vital and very active in the first few months before we go into documenting requirements and all the stuff. You are playing a vital role in doing different kind of analysis to understand the root cause. That's why we call this business analyst. Okay, because we're doing the analysis work. Developers don't do it. They are not called development analysis or whatever. They are called developers because they do developing. Our job is to do analysis, identify the problem, work closely with the business process. So we need to provide a solution. You cannot provide a solution unless you don't understand the process, don't understand the business. So we want to know who the client is, what is the nature of the business is. Okay, what is the product they're focused on? What is more important for them? What is the vision statement? Which department are they talking about? What is their organization structure? Which business process are they talking? What kind of systems are they using? So we will be doing business process analysis. We will also try to identify who are the actors, who are the users, what is the current process they are using, and what is the systems are they using, and what is their daily, what it looks like, where the problems originated, what kind of change are they expecting for. So there are different kind of questions a BA will ask. So one of the key competencies as a BA you need to understand is to ask a question. Okay, you got to understand as a BA, if you don't have answers, it's fine. You are new into a project. Nobody's putting you pressure to know everything. Everybody knows you're new into the project. It'll take time for you to understand. That's okay. But you need to start writing down questions, the areas which you're not sure about. You need to speak to your manager. You need to speak to your knowledge to somebody who are assigned to you. Ask them questions about this project and understand what this project is all about. Why is this project created? Okay, and what is the problem statement? Talk to various people in your team. Okay, and that way also to the user community, some subject matter experts from the business time, they will tell you, okay, this is what is the current process, this is the problem. So collectively talking to everybody will give you a start giving you a good understanding of what is the use case in front of you. Okay, once you understand the root cause of the problem, okay, you are able to understand what is the absolute business need, okay, and many a times, your team members in your delivery team, even they are trying to understand what is this problem statement. So people will be spending in your team, in your project team, they will be spending a massive time to understand the problem very clearly, and they'll try to understand where is it coming, this problem is coming up, and how to mitigate it, and they will try to come up with various kind of solutions, okay. So, and while in this process of understanding the business process, you will start understanding what are the in scope and out of scope. Can somebody tell me what is in scope and out of scope? Can somebody tell me what is in scope and out of scope? What does that mean for you? Anybody? Anyone can participate. Just tell me whatever you feel. Don't feel shy. Zuri, Vinay, Himanshu, Onkar,
I can give it
Olu,
a try.
Radhika, Divanshu, Praneeth. What do you think it is? Yes, Himanshu, go ahead.
Basically, in scope is like objectives what basically we can achieve, which are achievable, and out of scope is which are like which are part of the application or the project, but which cannot be justified or which cannot be obtained in a particular set of time.
Correct. Very good.
Yeah, I will say
Yeah.
this is Olu talking. I will say
Hi, Olu.
in scope is within the boundaries of the requirements. It's
Okay.
within. It's not going outside. And out scope is the opposite. Outside the scope
Yeah.
of what we are talking about. That's the way I would see it.
Thank you. I really like the way two of the gentlemen explained the way. I really like it. That's very clear. So, guys, you already talking like a BA. I like that. Okay. So it's when we try to understand the problem domain, or we are part of the solution, right? Solution team where we have to present the solution. The solution, what we present, if the client likes it, only then they approve the budget. Only then we have a project. Okay. So, but if the solution is really not a kind of solution with client is agreeing, there's a huge possibility that the project will not be approved, and 50% of the projects they never kicked off because of this reason until the solution is agreed by all part of our different stakeholders in the user community. It could be CEOs and it could be VPs, vice presidents, directors, managers, customer experience team, product team. Everybody has to agree to the solution. Okay, and I have seen in certain projects where the problem has been there for many years. Every year, every 2 years, they try to revisit the problem to see how they can provide a different solution. I've seen some organizations where I worked, the problem only became more critical, okay, because they were not able to come to an agreement with a solution. It only became more complex. So that's how many of the organizations will end up making their problem even more complex. So what I want to tell you is your role over here is to first assist the development team understand what is the problem, and that's why you will be doing different kind of analysis like fishbone analysis, root cause analysis, or you might just do an interview. I would talk to people, generally ask them questions, collect information, things like that, and bring them the information a solution architect or an infrastructure architect would need to finalize the solution of the project. You got to understand, for us to finalize the solution, we are first looking at a comprehensively what is the problem is all about. Okay, we are trying to eliminate what are the out of scope. Out of scope is not it. I cannot say it's totally non-important. It can be important, but it's not urgent. We are not visiting right now. We will deal with that later, but we want to come to the micro level. Okay, exactly which process are we talk about, what is the feasibility, what is the budget we have, how much time we have. Looking into all of those things, we try to come to an understanding with the client. Okay, this is where your problem is. If I give you a solution for this problem, are you okay? The client says okay, and then the delivery team, the development team will go through various kinds of discussions. We call it steering committee team, where we go through different kind of scope planning, solution planning, and we try to see what kind of solution can we provide. But you got to understand, for us to give us a solution has to be scalable. Okay, a solution should not be very expensive. A solution should not be very complicated. It should be easy to maintain. We are in 2025 today. We have amazing systems which are much smarter than before. There are companies who are using same applications for like 30 years, and they have so much of problems. And then they decide, okay, you know what, we're done with it. Let's go ahead and change it to a new system. So we're talking about now migration project. We're talking about legacy system. We're moving from a legacy system to a new staging system project. We are really bringing in a new CRM. We're talking about, we are moving from on-prem to cloud. So different kind of sunset projects, migration projects, data cleanup projects, different kind of projects are there in the job market. And I will be revisiting all those things in during our training programs. Okay. So what you need to understand is a development team will take its own time to come up with a one solid solution. Once we have that solution, your project manager, usually a project manager or a senior solution architects, the people who provide the solution for their projects are solution architects. They are responsible for it, but they work collectively. Okay, collectively they work with infrastructure architects, they work with the BAs, they work with developers, other subject matter expert to do a brainstorming session. Everybody will come together. This is an amazing part. I do want to tell you, as a BA, don't feel compelled thinking that you're the one who's got to do everything. No, you're not. I want to clear that out. Your role is only requirements management role. We don't do solution finalizing. That's not our role. Please understand, our job is requirements documentation and get more detail, what any kind of help, any kind of information they want on the business process, we provide them. We talk to the stakeholders, we provide them, and by doing this we become subject matter expert. So when the production happens, when we do deployments, we work as a subject matter experts, but we are not the one who finalize the solution. Okay, so I will continue to give you clarity as we speak, and I can guarantee you that by the end of the training, you will start thinking like a BA. Okay. Now, once we understood what is the problem is, the solution team will start working on defining the solution. That's the important part. Okay. Today, we are actively using Agile Scrum methodology, which is a very popular methodology, and where we are able to deliver the products to features to the clients much faster. We will be going in detail, in depth, okay, about what are the different kind of software development life cycle, in what are the stages, what role you have to play, what documentation you have to do. Everything we'll be doing in detail, and and so we will be doing different kind of documentations like project charters, and project plans, system use case specifications, business rules documents, BRDs, and requirements traceability with RTMs. And there is a different kind of way of writing methods in user stories and acceptance criteria, how to document those requirements, how to deliver the requirements. You'll need to understand, as a BA, collecting the requirements only is one part of our role. Okay, then delivering those requirements to the delivery team, to the developer, helping them understand what exactly the user wants, what kind of features they want, what are the different functionalities a user wants. Help the developer understand. Once the developer understand, they're going to build it. But our job is to collect this information, document it, and then deliver it to the developers. And we make sure we maintain a checklist through an artifact called requirements traceability metrics. We use RTMs to maintain a checklist to make sure every functionality which is noted down becomes a minimum viable product. We call it MVP. Okay, and then we go ahead and start delivering this to the client. So we want to make sure, as a BA, you maintain a checklist of all the requirements which are coming in, and we want to know which developer is working on it. We want to know which tester is testing it. We want to make sure that all the features are tested and deployed. Okay, and there is something called product backlog. It's a wonderful document where we keep a track of how many items have been completed, how many are pending, for what reason are they pending. We need to have a deep knowledge on it, and we're going to give you a complete knowledge of how these things going to work, and you will learn one by one. You'll be more than job ready. Okay, thank you for being here. Now I want to talk more about these are the different kind of documentations you're going to see. You see, RTM is a very important document. We have data dictionaries there, wireframes are there, user stories are there, acceptance criteria are there, and then business rules documents are there, project charters are there, functional requirements are there, BRDs are there. So there's a different kind of documentations. The good thing is 95% of the job market is moved towards agile scrum methodology, where the documentation is reduced by 95%. Back in the days, I started my career with waterfall, heavy documentation. There's a lot of documentation we do, but today the documentation is reduced by 95%. That's a great news, but we work more as an analyst today. Okay, so it's very important that we continue to understand what this role is, what are the different kind of documentations we need to do, and how to work in it. Okay, now let me talk about some few things about how to approach a business process. Are you all with me so far? Divyanshu, Himanshu, Vinay, Onkar, Olu, Praneeth, Radhika, Zuri, are you guys with me so far? Give me a thumbs up. Yes?
I am.
Okay. You can stop me if you have any questions. Okay. So let me talk about some of the key activities IT business should perform to understand the business process. Let's talk about that a little bit more and we'll go. In identifying the business process, project scope, and problem statement. The very important role for BA, as I showed in the picture, is to understand the business process. It's very important for you to understand the goal, the vision statement, the scope of the project, okay, of the organization. What is that they currently want? What is their how are they operating currently? What are their different workflows? What kind of business rules are involved in it? What kind of business policies are involved in it? What kind of systems are involved in it? What kind of tools are involved in it? What is the nature of our stakeholders? All right, we try to identify the stakeholder. It's very important for you to identify the stakeholders. As a BA, when you kickstart, you will be hired for a main project. But as you go down the line, based on your performance, a BA usually handles 3 to 4 projects. Okay, so you'll be wearing multiple hats in different projects. So it's very important for you to understand which stakeholder belongs to which project. So there is also a documentation on identifying. We do something called stakeholder analysis, where we identify the stakeholders. It's not a big of an activity, but you need to understand, as you know, where are the stakeholders, who you need to meet. If you're on a full-time job, so which means you're going to be in that organization for a long time, you need to start building network into the organization. You need to know which string to pull, who to reach out, which department to reach out if you have any question. It's very important as a BA, you need to reach out and build those connections in an organization. If you're on a contract, yeah, you might be in a year, maybe after a year, maybe your contract is not continuing, it's okay. But you need to know, as long as you're in an organization, no matter as a contract or full time, you need to start identifying which person belongs in which department, when to reach out to them, and make sure that you have those connections so that they can be helpful for you. So it's a lot of people management, stakeholder management is required for this role. Okay, so you got to understand the stakeholder. You need to identify them. You cannot be reaching out to VPs for all the time. So you need to know who are the go-to people, who are the managers who are assigned for your projects, who are the SMEs who are engaging in, who are the product owners who are assigned for your project. So you need to know your stakeholders. It's very important. So, and who are the key decision makers? While sending an email, you cannot send it to everybody. You need to make sure you send it to the right person, the right group of people. So it's very important for you to identify the stakeholders. So I will be talking more once our regular class starts. I'll be talking teaching you. There are different templates there to identify and perform a stakeholder analysis. So as a BA, don't think that you will be dealing only with requirements. It's an analyst role. They can ask you to give more responsibilities. There will be more ad hoc responsibilities will coming your way. So you should be ready for it. And it's very important that you as a BA, you always have you should carry an attitude, be more approachable, because a lot of people will be coming to you for information. You will be engaging with a lot of people for to collect information. Your delivery team, you'll be working as a subject matter expert. So it's very important for you to be very social. You need to be very approachable. People should like you to talk to you. They should not think that, okay, it's no point talking to this fellow. It's not, should not carry that attitude. Okay, it's very important as a BA. You want to make sure that you serve, even if you are whatever you are outside, but when you go to the job, you need to wear this new hat. You need to change your personality. You got to make sure you're very approachable so that people would start liking to talk to you. And whenever you have a meeting with a stakeholder, establish a connection, establish a good rapport. So many times it's great to talk in general about many other things outside work, which develops relationship. They will remember you. So the next time when you reach out to them, they'll be happy to spend more time with you and provide more depth details. So because it's very important, these relationships, because as a BA, we depend on people for information. There is no blueprint that somebody can give you the, okay, go through this blueprint, everything is there. It's not like that. As a BA, we do a lot of meetings, elicitation, requirements elicitation meetings. The better your relationship with the people around you in your business and everywhere, in your team also, you will get better support, more information. People will like to talk to you. So you want to be very approachable and very delightful. That's very important. There will be situations where your managers will be giving you feedbacks to you. You need to take everything constructive. You should not get demotivated. There is possibility that you will do mistakes. Okay, we will do a lot of practicals in our class. I will train you on everything, but in spite of that, you will also do your own type of mistakes. Whatever it is, be bold. The people will correct your process, your UML diagrams, which you're going to do to present. People will correct you, but it's constructive. You got to understand you are working as a part of it, so it's a collaborative effort. Okay, you have to document and review the existing process. This is a key important activity of a BA. You got to review and start review and you review the standard operating procedure SOPs. You have to, it's very important that when you move into a project, you got to ask your PMs, okay, what is the standard operating procedure? What is your expectation out of me? Okay, you'll be working with PMs at the same time. Then you have a hiring manager, your own BA managers. You need to talk to them. What kind of documentation do you want to do? What is the expectation you have out of me? What are the various things that you would want? Understand, talk to them. Not every organization will give you an SOP. Okay, many times you will be in a situation where you need to figure it out. Okay, like I said, as long as you have a question, you'll find an answer. So you need to start writing down your questions. You need to study the customer's current process maps. And to study the process maps, there is no blueprint. You got to speak to people. They will tell you, understand, they will help you understand the process. What is the current business process? What are the actors involved? Okay, what is their role? Okay, what is the seniority? What are they supposed to do? What systems are involved in it? How the approval process works? Who has to approve? What are the business rules around it? And we have to be, as a BA, we got to be very careful not to ignore any business rules. And you need to document these business rules and let the developers know about it, because you're the one who's talking to the user community. You got to understand, you will do system documentations. I have many times went to the client's location, and I have done job shadowing. I've tried to see what the customer care guys are doing, which systems are they working, and how they complete the transactions. What are the data points are they touching? Okay, workflows. I follow that. You need to take really a lot of effort in understand the current process. That's very, very important. And you have to understand that never do a shallow work. Don't think, it's very common. I've seen that in many new BAs. I've seen it. They come in, they have managed to document some requirement. They think, okay, I'm done. I think I've done a great job. No, if you have not turned every stone in front of you, there is a possibility there will be a scope creep. Can somebody tell me? I'm not expecting you to know, but can somebody tell me what is scope creep? Does anybody know what is scope creep?
No.
Anybody? Okay. Let's say you have finalized the requirement. Okay, and we have really not documented everything, and you have gone into development, but are we talking into a planning, development planning, and the client suddenly comes back and says, oh, by the way, I have one more requirement, can you also add it? And for all, we are not planned for it. Okay, and because of this new requirement which is coming in, there is a possibility that the overall time of the project can increase. I'll show you this in a project management. There is something called iron triangle. Okay, this iron triangle means it has three parameters. If you see cost, time, and scope, if any of these things increases, okay, that can increase the time of delivery. We don't want the cost to increase. If the scope increases, the cost will increase. Duration of time it will take for us to develop will increase. No matter what happens, we cannot compromise on the quality. So as a BA, you don't want to be on the spot where you have not documented the requirements properly, and the client end up coming in later and saying that, I have. It happens all the time. Don't beat yourself for it. It happens all the time. Clients always come and say that, oh, by the way, one more. It's okay. If it is, if it's a little bit of deviation, it's okay. 2 or 3%, it's okay. But if the requirement is like really changing the whole criteria of development, then we really want to look and to see there is an approval process for it. There's a change management for it. So we want to see how we can accommodate it, and there is a process around it. And there are people who need to look into this requirement. So we can't just accommodate like that. We need to analyze and see whether we really do we have the resources to allow those requirements which are coming in. Can we do it or not? All those kind of assessment is done. So we can't just take requirements like that. So it is very, very important as a BA. You want to be making sure that you have captured 100% of the requirements and you've done your best job. This is a very responsible role. Okay, don't think that it is some office role. You went and did your job or not. In a regular business side, you do just 50-60%, you deliver, it's more than enough. You can show up every day, do your work and go. But in IT role, it's not like that. You are building something. Okay, so you want to make sure you collect all the requirements. Tell me something. If you know how back home we build houses, how many of you in your home have your fathers or grandfather or yourself have you built a constructed a house? How many of you have done that here? Anybody there? Back home or here anywhere? Anybody engaged in this activity with civil engineers, architects in your home, your parents, um, or yourself or your grandparents? Have you seen that happening? Anyone? No? Pranit, Vinay, Onkar, Olu, Zuri, Radhika, you, Kevin, Himash, have you guys engaged in that activity before? Tell me something. What does a civil engineer do? Somebody tell me, what does a civil engineer do in the construction activity? Anybody knows that? Okay, let me explain. So in a construction world, as a customer, you need to tell them an exact requirement. Okay, where do I want my living room? And where do I want my backyard? How big my garage should be? How big my dining hall should be? How big my kitchen should be? We need to give the requirements. As a user, you can give requirements, okay, rough requirements you give, but as an architect, they need to clearly probe us more and more to get an exact understanding of what we have. Then they make a blueprint and they say, hey, based on your request, I've created this blueprint. Why don't we both go through it? And they make us go through the blueprint and we agree to it. Then the architects will deliver that to the developers. And I mean the civil engineers. My brother is a civil engineer, by the way. He has a construction company. So what he will do is he'll collect the requirements from the architects and he will make sure that he will not deviate from the requirement which is given to him, and he will tell a costing to build this house based on your requirement what given me. It is going to cost you 300,000, 500,000, 700,000, and then client agrees to it, and loan is provided, funding is done, and they in this period of 8 to 9 months or 1 year, a beautiful home is built. So it is very, very important that if the requirements is compromised, the delivery of the product will have issues. Okay, client will not be satisfied. So we are part of a team. It's not just you went for a BA job, you did your thing and you came out. It's not like that. You go into a role, you got to understand, you got a responsibility to make sure this product is built well. It has got all the requirements that the user wants. You have made a note of it and you have validated it. You have sat with the client, you took them through it. Client understood the mock-up diagrams, understood the plan, understood what kind of system we have gone through it, designs, Everything we went through it. Developers clearly understood what they need to build, and we have walked them through all the requirements. Testers knew what to test, and then we go ahead and deliver. So we want to make sure that all the requirements are captured 360 degrees. Okay, it's a very responsible role. A lot of involvement is required. Okay, you never want to miss out, take any unplanned leaves. You take a leave, nobody's going to come there tomorrow and make you sit and give you a deep dive of all the meetings. No, you don't attend the meeting, you need to catch up. It's your responsibility. So in usually in IT world, we don't take much leaves unless it's a dire situations. There are times I've been very sick. I once I had a COVID, but I still showed up to work. I work from home for the most part. All I had to do so log in, but I made sure I was there in those meetings so that I don't miss out. That's amount of commitment you need to do this role. So every role in this daily with the project team, everybody has a key role to play. There are many projects you will be the only BA. Only massive projects you will have 3 or 4 BAs, but usually most of the project which are budgeting around 1 to 3 million, there will be only one BAs. Okay, so they cannot have a huge team to do the work. Your team will have only like 8 to 9 members maximum. Okay, one BA, one developer, one tester, one architect, one infrastructure architect, one PM, one security guy. So there will be one of each. So each of you have a role to play. So your role is to capture the requirements exactly what the client wants in scope. Okay, so that is your role to identify. That's why it's very important that you examine the business process, speak to the requirement, to the user community, document the requirements, and validate those requirements. You need to validate with them. There is an interview question. They will ask you, what if the client comes and says, "This is not what I asked for. What are you going to do?" Right? So this can happen once in a while. It happens, but you don't want to be in that situation. Nobody wants to be in that situation. So we want to make sure that we are validating with the clients at different stages of the software development lifecycle, so that client is happy, everybody is happy, and we don't want any finger pointing. Okay, so it's very important that you examine the reports, dashboards, and historical data. You got to do process observations and shadowing. I was just speaking to it. There are times you may be in a remote job. Client will be somewhere in Canada or US. You will be different cities. Obviously, you cannot. So what you can do is you can also do remote shadowing also. Okay, through Zoom. You can ask an agent to share their screen while they do. You can do some 4 or 5 hours of shadowing to understand the business process observation. I want to tell you, we will be doing a stakeholder analysis. The frontline people, they have a very little interest in what you're doing, what you're developing, but they are a very good people in giving you a good understanding of what the problem is all about, from where is it coming, what can be possibly done to solve it. Those guys can have given me very good input in my career. So you never want to take them lightly. Of course, you'll be dealing with managers and supervisors and many other directors to understand the problem. But the frontline people can give you a hands-on understanding of, they'll give you a wonderful walkthrough. Okay, they're very simple people. They are not worried about what's going to come. And you also have to understand there is something called adaptability. There was a time I don't want to take a name of the company, and I went into it was an insurance company. In insurance world, it's very common to find older people working, 50s, 60 years old, and really older people, they'll be working, and they'll be in the verge of, they'll be working in the frontline job of 15 years, 20 years. They never would have got, they would have remained in the same role. These guys don't, they're so used to a system. Like I said, some legacy systems are working for 30 years. They would have worked in the same system throughout their career, so they won't be ready to adapt themselves. So when you're trying to talk to them about a new system coming, they would have like 3 or 4 years to retire, and they will not accept the change. So you need to be very careful. You need to know what is your audience, who are your users, what is the age group. Younger the population, they'll adapt themselves, no problem. If a user community is older population and you're putting millions to build an application, if they are not going to adapt it, the project is going to be a failure. So there is a way to evangelize and present the new change in small pieces and make them feel excited about it. So you will be engaging with the user community, creating those kind of user guides to so make them feel it's very easy to adapt. Okay, those kind of activities also we need to do apart from just documenting the requirement. It's a very fun thing to do. Believe me, I love that. I always like to speak to the frontline people. They're always fun. So you will be engaging with them. So it's important for you to understand. Keep an eye on that. Okay, and workshops and process mapping. Yeah, so like I said, process mapping is very important. We have different swim lane diagrams, activity diagrams, process flow diagrams, which you will be doing practically learning in my training. Okay, this is called business process notation. BPM 2.0 is the new version where we will be doing this. We'll also do something called value stream mapping too. In this process, which are the processes which are adding more value? We are doing a deep dive. We are literally breaking down the whole process, and you'll be doing a value stream mapping. That's an amazing practical way of doing a deep dive. So you will be learning when we do learn different analysis techniques. Practically, we will be doing with some use cases. We'll be learning. Okay. Then we have access to be analysis. Okay, what is the current state? What is the future state? And making analysis of what will it take from current state to future state, or all this kind of analysis we'll be doing. So those are the workshop activities you'll be doing. Okay, then you are doing something you learn. Okay, identify from the data side what are different kind of data points are we using, what kind of data are we talking about what kind of data are involved with this customer number, customer phone number, customer email, customer address, customer, any kind of customer identification numbers. These are the different kind of data we're talking about. So we want to make a note of those things. Okay, and you want to know what are the triggers, what is triggering this transaction. For example, let's say you're calling a bank to get to understand what is the, let's say there's a balance in your account. So where is this transaction triggering, who's triggering, which actor is triggering, what are the sequence of actors. There is something called sequence diagram, we call it in UML, in UML diagram. So you got to understand the sequence of activities are happening, because as a developer, for them to do the create the code, they need to understand the sequence of activity. For example, you're going to an ATM, right? You're inserting a card, you're punching the PIN number, so that's a trigger. Inserting the card, you're accepting, selecting the bank account type. Your account is checking account, so that's a trigger. So the ATM machine receives this trigger and quickly tries to identify which, if you're a bank customer, authorizes the PIN number, and it locates the balance, and it shows the balance. So there's a sequence of activities. Then you say want to withdraw money, so the ATM machine receives the command that you need to receive the money. So it will dispense the cash. And so this is a sequence of activities. For the developer, they lead this sequence of activities. These are not complex. Okay, I will make things easy. My role is to help you understand more complex activities in the most simplest way. You got to understand it's not about tools. In today's BA world, the tools are less. You don't have to worry about it. But what you really need to understand is, how are we going to facilitate these activities? How are we going to deliver this? How are we going to make these fellows understand what needs to be built? And that is what our key role is all about. Okay, so we will be learning all those things. Okay, and define and validate the project scope. Remember, I talked about validation. You're establishing a clear project boundaries. You always have to work under the project boundaries. Your colleagues will be working in some other tracks. Okay, so but you shouldn't get confused. You need to understand what is the exact objective of this project, because, like I said, you could be working in multiple projects. It's very normal. Don't feel overwhelmed about it. So you need to understand your project deliverables, your objectives, and stick around with that. Then you need to review the business case. You will have business case in front of you. You will have project charters in front of you. So you and project decks in front of you. So you got to understand what is the real goal of this project. What is the purpose of the project? It could be a change management project. How did we come to this? What kind of activity was done before this project? So you need to see the dependent projects which was done. If you go a little backtrack in the history, you'll understand, okay, how did we get here? What kind of work was done before? Okay, then we're talking about scope workshop. Like I said, identifying the in scope and out of scope. I was just speaking to some time back. Collaborate with the project sponsors and stakeholders to understand the define the in scope and out of scope. It's very, very important. We understand the scope, then we break it down to understand what is the in scope. We are going to work in scope. Out of scope, we don't have to worry once we identify that. Then we create a scope statement, a document, business objectives where we clearly try to establish what are the challenges we have, what kind of constraints we have to achieve this, what kind of challenges we have to achieve this scope statement. And that's very, very important part of it. There it could be technology challenge, it could be policies, it could be external government issues, whatever it is. It's very important to identify. Many times you can collect this information from your business stakeholders, and if you have team members in the IT team, they are there for many years, they will also know. So collectively, you get to understand, what is the, if there is any constraints are there, any kind of assumptions, any dependencies. Okay, we assume that this could be the problem statement, and I'll show you some example on that. So there, for example, there are some banks, say there is a customer care bank in the bank, they will have use one system, and the same system will be used by the credit card team also. Okay, if the customer is calling the customer care in the bank, they can also provide information on the credit card, and then you can also call up the credit card department, collect the same information, which means they are following the same systems. There are dependencies. Okay, when you're making changes, there is change needs to be done on both the departments. So we got to understand these dependencies. Okay, and which you will only understand by speaking to your stakeholders. Okay, and clearly understand that. As a BA, you don't have to worry about budget part. It's the PM's job is to get the budget approved. It's their role. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, but we need to clarify to understand what kind of systems are we doing. We need to play around with the system sometimes to do the system analysis as well. Okay, I'll teach you all those things. And it's very important that many a times your own team members, they can deviate from the scope of the project. So it's very important for you to align them back to the table. So hey guys, this is what the exact need, because you're the one who's speaking to the clients. So you know exactly what is the requirement is all about. So you need to talk to them, tell your team members, hey guys, this is a scope. This is what exactly the client wants. I spoke to the product owner yesterday. This is what they want. You need to emphasize that. So you as a BA, you're not only representing delivery team, but you also represent the user community too. So it is your responsibility. So you got to make sure, you make sure the team is not distracted from the original objective. Okay, validate the scope. Once, time and again, you got to make sure that you get a sign off from the stakeholders, from the user community, to avoid any scope creep. And remember, I talked about scope creep. You don't want client to come back and say, hey, by the way, we did not discuss about it. I also want this requirement. But for all, you have not committed for it. So for all, we don't have resources for it. So you want to make sure that before you're getting requirements signed off, you want to make sure the client has completely agreed that they have given us all the requirements and we have clearly documented. We have the system, absolute technology stack to build it. Developers agreed to build it. We know exactly what technology needs to be built, what application needs to be built. We know what user wants to do, which application they want to log in, and what is the outcome, what kind of transaction the user wants to do. So we have documented. We want to validate all these things from the user community so that they don't come around and say, oh, by the way, I did not know about it. We did not discuss this. So as a BA, it is your responsibility, validating the requirements, validation. Always remember that. Understand the problem statement, clearly articulate the core business. I talked about it. So you got to understand the business problem. Make sure you will be using interviews, focus groups. You will be doing various surveys. We will be going through different kind of elicitation techniques to do that. And there are 5 whys, why are we having this root cause? You will be doing different kind of analysis to dig deeper into not only you will be digging deeper, your whole team will be digging deeper into it. Okay, so don't think that, oh my God, if I mess around with the requirements, everything is done. Don't get scared. The whole team during the analysis phase will be doing a root cause analysis in their own way. So everybody will be bringing input and bringing together, and you'll be solidifying the solution. So please don't stress yourself. It's a joint activity. Okay. Then analyze the business impact, assess how the problem affects the operations, cost, customer satisfaction, compliance, and revenue. You need to understand, based on the problem statement, how is it impacting the client today? Okay, how is it impacting it? Okay, and how are we going to resolve this impact? Okay, in today's world, clients want solutions fast. So agile scrum methodology, software development lifecycle is a fantastic method to provide delivery of the functionality to the client faster. Okay, because in a private companies usually they evolve very fast because of the competition. So we want to understand the business impact which is going on, so that you will know what it needs to solve this problem. That will be part of the solution, which will improve customer satisfaction, which will give more business to your consulting firm. Okay, and we want to make sure that it reduces the operational expense, operational cost, enhances the customer satisfaction for the client, more happy clients for the client, compliance and revenue, generate more revenue for the client. Okay, so all of those things are factors. So we want to know every project. I will be giving you projects to you guys. Okay, and I was just speaking to one of my team members today, and I was sharing one of the use cases. Every project which you're going to present in the interview, you need to show what was the problem statement, what was your role, tools did you use, what was the production activities were done, what was the outcome of the project. That's very, very important. It's not about you go to the interview and say, I know this, I know that. No, you need to show, you need to talk about, I went into a BA, into this project, this was the problem statement, this is where I did, these are the different kind of activities what I did, these are the tools I did. When I started my project, this was the problem statement, and when I finished the project, the metrics moved from A to B. This was the benefit, this is how we enhance the client's revenue, this is how we solve the client's problem by introducing these systems. It reduced the overall cost, improved net promoter score, improved customer experience, better compliance. So you need to show your engagement has transformed the business. So that's how you want to present yourself in the interview. You want to show how your contribution has positively assisted your client, and that's what interview person is looking to hear from you. So you need to have those conversations, okay? And of course, you need to go through historical data, identify the various incident reports, service tickets, and audits to find out. So gap analysis. So you will be doing a lot of current state analysis. Many a times you will be assigned to a project and they expect you to know this. Your managers will just drop in and say, hey, Himanshu, can you please tell me what's going on with this project? Can you please tell me? And you just have to give them a quick rundown of what's going on. And that's only going to happen when you're on top of your game, right? So you will learn all those things in a training. Draft and validate problem statement. Your PM is going to do that, so don't worry about it. But we will document in the requirements as well. There are some tools like workshops. We got to use workshop, different kind of workshops. They are called as discovery call meetings. Also, we discover client's problem. You are spending a lot of time in understanding. To tell you in a small analogy, how many of you guys have called customer care department for something? Has anybody done that?
Yes, I have called multiple times.
Yes.
Okay, have you noticed, um, there are sometimes these customer care guys, they listen less. The people who listen less, they end up giving a solution. Many times the solution won't be correct, and they take the longer time to resolve the problem. At the same time, there would have been one more agent. He would have spent more time listening to your problem, and they understand clearly, and they can find a solution in 5 minutes. Have you noticed that? Probably in chat or customer care.
Yes.
So what do you think is the issue here? What do you think could have been done to give an effective solution? What do you think the customer care person should do? Come on. To spend more time understanding the problem, to have a good listening skills, correct?
Right.
Same like that in the BA world also. Yes, yes, Radhika, proper understanding of the work. So unless you don't spend your time, you don't hear, you don't listen to your clients, you're going to struggle with the solution. So it's okay to spend more time. That's why you will see your team members spending more time in understanding, doing these workshops, analysis activities to understand what's going on there. We do different kind of UML diagrams, process modelings like BPMN diagrams, swim lanes, UML activity diagrams to understand it. We do a lot of data analysis, trend analysis, KPI reviews, dashboard assessment. Once in a while, we do those projects, stakeholder analysis, and we do something called requirements traceability metrics, where we map the requirements from the beginning of the project till it is delivered. So there's a lot of activities we do like this, to understand it. And there are different documentations BAs need to do. During this process, we create business requirements documents, functional requirements documents, non-functional requirements document, project scope documents. In an agile activity, we do product backlogs, user stories, acceptance criteria, and we need to know what is definition of done. Okay, process flow diagrams, use case diagram, UML diagrams. On the testing side, there is user acceptance testing plan is then test case documentation has to be done. Um, and then during change and communication documentation, change request form, impact analysis, meeting notes, action items. And these are data related. If you're on data related project, then you need to do data mapping, data modeling. Okay, interface control, ICD, interface control document, interface activity to understand what are the APIs and integrations. So there are a lot of documentations like that which you will be doing, but luckily in Agile Scrum, the documentation is reduced to almost 15%, I would say, but 85% is more of an analyst role. So you will continue to learn. So far, any questions? Praneeth, Vinay, Onkar, Olu, Zuri,
Yeah,
Radhika, Kip,
I have a
Danny,
question. I have a
Himanshu.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. When there is no problem, what does a BA do? Or does it mean every day they resume to work, they are to solve problem?
No, no, no. It's not like every day there is a problem. Okay, you are passing through different stages of a software development lifecycle, Olu. Okay, you're passing through different stages of software development. You come in based on which stage of the software development lifecycle you are in, you will have a certain requirement. For example, in the beginning of the project, you're only trying to understand what is the business problem, you're documenting that, you're doing analysis activities. And once it is understood, we start documenting the requirements for the development. Once the requirement gets signed off, we move into the design phase. Now we're talking about design documents getting approved. Once we finish that activity, we go into development. We are not developers. We are working with these people who are going to develop. And we work with testing team to make sure that they understand the test cases, they document the right test cases. You are doing the user acceptance testing. Then we are going in deployment. So based on which stage of the software development lifecycle you are, you have a certain deliverables, certain documentations are required. So the responsibilities will change according to where you are in your project. Got it, Olu?
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so guys, I want to tell you that these are very big topics, okay, which I'll be going through deep down into it. But I do want to tell you, like I said, these first three sessions are only for you to know who you want to commit yourself. It's very important that moving into an IT career can become very difficult if you don't have a proper mentor. It has happened to me. Before I moved into training into a first IT role, I went into training with 3, 4 companies. They did not give some proper support and proper certification, proper guidance to me. I was almost in the verge of giving up. Okay, but I kept pressing on. I was like, okay, one more time, we'll try it out. Luckily, the last time I got a proper mentor, and with that help, I learned exactly what BA needs to do. Back in the days, we did not need to know a product. If you know BA, that's more than enough. You can transition. But today, times have changed. It's over 12 years now. Times have changed now. Today, you need to know a product. Also, you need to specialize a BA role in it. Okay, requirement is changing. If somebody is telling you if you learn only BA, you can get into a job, I'm sorry, just leave that place. It's not going to get you anywhere. So you need to learn a product. So my role is to first teach you the proper BA deliverables. Then my subsequent team members, Nishant or Sakshi, they're going to take over ServiceNow. They will teach you ServiceNow. Then we will collaborate everything comprehensively. We will teach you how to work in a ServiceNow project as a BA, how to deploy it, okay, and different stages, how to do requirements elicitation on a ServiceNow project. How for that you need to understand the workflow in ServiceNow tool. You need to understand the config, how to configure it. You need to understand the integration point. So you're going to learn all those things, okay? So I'm actually traveling for work on 21st, okay, and I'm only going to be 31st. I have to go to my client space, so I'm traveling for 10 days, the whole week. So I don't do that. I complete the first 3 sessions and I immediately start a training. I usually do that, but since I have a business plan traveling coming up in the middle, I am planning to start the training mostly by 3rd or of 8th of September. Okay, for the next 3 weeks, I know a lot of people are already joining. The current ServiceNow batch has a people of 25 people into that batch. Okay, so there's a lot of demand coming up. So now then you know what this career is all about. The people who are attending for the last 3 sessions and the people who are speaking to me, I'm sure by now you have a very good clarity of what you are getting into. I can tell you based on my own team members and results, our own students, I can tell you it's worth putting your time into it. ServiceNow has got a bright career till 2035. That's our immediate assessment. And there's a huge demand in US and Canada, wherever you are in. And we know exact knowledge areas where you need to focus, how to architect your resume, what kind of interview preparation you need. You're going to go hardcore. Okay, so so you need to register yourself, you need to book your spot. For US guys it's 1,250. For Canadian guys it's 1,700. I'm offering 3 installments. You just need to pay your first installment and book your spot. And once I'm coming, you will receive a lot of communication from me. Once I'm coming back from Texas, we will be starting the training mostly by Wednesday the 3rd September or the Monday of 8th. So that's what my plan is. So, but I will be continuing to talk to you people and taking registrations as we go so that I can help you transition to this career. Okay. Any questions before I close the session today?
Yeah, I have a question.
Please share the document.
Go ahead, Olu.
Oh, okay. All right. This is my first time of coming to the this program. This is my first time. So it's possible someone has asked this question. So the question I want to ask is that the program, how many times in a week?
3 sessions a week.
Okay.
My training days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. EST to 9:30 to 10. It will go 3 days a week. Okay. But usually what I do is once the people come in the first 3 sessions, I usually ask the people, do they want to do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, Thursday? So based on the majority of the team, what they want, I can change the time. I'm flexible about it. I'm not stuck with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would suggest that. But if you want to do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's good. But currently, there is another ServiceNow batch which is starting. They are doing Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Zuri, hi Zuri. Zuri
Hi.
is a BA. Zuri, you are a BA already, right, Zuri?
Yes.
Okay, so you will be joining the 18th, the batch which is starting 18th. ServiceNow.
Hopefully.
Okay,
Hope.
I've added you to the WhatsApp group. So you're already joining that group. Okay, so
Okay.
that group is training starting Monday. They are doing Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, the new batch which is coming up on 8th of September, it's coming week 3 days. This is what it is I have planned right now. But we can accommodate based on our team members, majoritively what you guys decide. I can accommodate myself. That's not an issue.
So this one quick question: what is the
Yeah,
timing for the batch usually that happens? Let's say you told me about the days, but what are the timings that come
8 p.m. It will be either 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. The one which is Himanshu, you wanted to go into the service now directly, right? You're telling me.
Yes, 90% chances that I'm planning to go for the service now only.
So that batch is starting this 18th. There are already 25 people have joined.
Okay.
So that batch timing is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8:30 p.m.
8:30 to 9:30, 1 hour, or it's 2 hours?
No. It will go 1.5 hours, two max.
Okay. Okay.
1 hour, nothing. We can't even. By the time we
No,
begin, it will
so
get over.
I actually like I was doing night shift, so I'll plan according to that. That's why.
Yeah, yeah, I would really recommend you to, if you see if you can speak to your supervisor and make some changes,
Hmm.
commit yourself for 2 months, and it's a practical training. We cannot learn in recording.
Right, right, right.
Okay, because you can practically be there. And I tell you something, guys, I strongly recommend, if you can, please come to the class and learn. Being in the environment of learning is very important for your success. Studying and recording, doing by yourself, you may be good at it, but one time you lose interest, you don't want to get what you started, you want to finish. uh, can I tell you something, guys?
Yes.
Yesterday, Vidya came in, I was talking to, most of my guys who got job in 2 months, they were average, they took 15 to 18 interviews in 2 months. Can you tell me if there is any career where you're getting this many interview calls in such short span? Do you know anything like that?
None.
So this is why I'm saying, when you are in the demand market, you will get interview calls. If you're not in demand, you will not get interview calls. It's simple common sense. Okay, and I've understood this very well. Okay, and this is why I'm saying, if you're not getting interview calls, which means your career is saturated. So you need to move to the demand area. Then only you will see the impact. Now, my students who listen to me, who got into the job, who are in training, they are surprised. Yes, you are right. What you told was right. They're surprised. They were surprised with the overwhelming number of interview calls coming in. One of my candidate had a flexibility of messing around 15 interviews. She messed up. That's not good. But I'm just saying, market is hot. Interview calls are coming. So 5 of my guys, and now 4 more guys are into interviews. And I'm going to get those good news in the month of August. This is what I want. Yeah, so I'm so invested. My whole team is invested. We want you guys to get into a job. Okay. So I'm telling you, advising you based on the market requirement. Learn the BA, learn the service now, then I'll architect a plan for you to get into the job market. That's all it takes. It's simple. So what I want to tell you is, don't feel stressed about it, anxious about it. Will this happen or not? No. You need to focus on the process of getting into the job, not on the result. If you're focusing on the result, you will feel disappointed. Focus on the process, what it takes. You get what it needs to get a job first. Then the job will come looking for you. Then you will see, okay, that is great. Yeah, now I'm getting interview calls. 1 or 2, 3 interviews, you mess it up, you will learn. But the good thing about us, by every training, we are rechanging the processes, we are rechanging the modules, we're improving our interview preparation sessions, improving our interview questions, improving our mock questions. By doing this improvisation, what we do, it's benefiting you, because you are going to get better preparation for the job market. Okay, so that's what it is. So the guys who are joining August 18th batch, like Zuri and Himanshu, I think you will need to commit immediately, and so that we'll have this conversation offline and get you guys into. And the rest of the guys who are going into BA, and for the guys who are asking, if you're listening to these recorded sessions, you'll need to reach out to me and sign up, so that you can join the batch, which is starting 4th or 8th of this month of September. Okay, there's hardly another 15 more days to go. Register, you make your first installment of 5666 or 300, whatever, and book your spot. You don't want to miss this opportunity. I'm the only provider who's teaching you in ServiceNow BA. There is a difference between preparing for ServiceNow implementation specialist and BA. They are very different. Their knowledge areas are different. So, it requires a certain roadmap of learning curve. Okay. Any other questions?
Sudesh, we can connect after this call, right?
Yes, please.
Maybe in like 10 minutes after that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Sudesh. Thank you so much.
Danny, Kevin, Radhika, Vinay, Olu, Onkar, Praneet, Zuri, you guys good?
All good.
Okay, so if you guys are in Friday, and I guess it's very important for you, and I'm the only way you can thank me is, I want you guys to get into a job and refer me in your communities. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so let's get on board and get ourselves registered. Okay, I will connect with you guys. Okay, for now, I'll sign off and I'll continue to be in touch with you, and you will get communication from my assistance. Okay, have you all a great night, great weekend, and you will get communication on when the batch is starting. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Have yourself a
All
great
right. Thank you for your time. Bye bye.
Welcome. Good night. Good night, everybody.